Good morning, students. I just wanted to let you know that I understand your frustration with what is happening at this point with a lot of the systems at the university. It's important that you understand that the university is going through a lot of changes with this switch to online this semester. And that is one of the reasons why you saw the talk show this morning, if you saw it on Love FM, that the union is pushing for a delay of classes until September 7th, which is in line with what the University of West Indies is doing and what Galen is doing. Even many of the junior colleges are doing the same thing with August 31st and September start dates. So if you have an opportunity to support us by voicing your opinion on Facebook, some of the talk shows, even sending emails to some of the individuals at UB, at the higher ups, the records department, the accounts receivables department, and so forth, the emails that you have access to, the Dean of Student Services, that would be great. Now, one of the issues is with registration. The porthole was down yesterday, and now it is up and running. But there are problems. You need to make sure that if you took your at-lib, that if you scored between 50 and 59, that you are registering for Pre-College English 2. If you scored below a 50, that you register for Pre-College English 1. If you passed the English and got a 60 or above, then you can go right into English 1014. The next one is math. For math, if you scored below a 70, you're supposed to go into developmental math, and above a 70, you're supposed to go into math 1014. The last one would be Spanish. If you're taking the Spanish placement test, which is tomorrow, then you would hold off on registering for Spanish until you get your grade, and then you'll know your exemption and what you can register for. If you don't feel like you want to spend the $20 because your Spanish no es bueno, then you would go ahead and you would register for Spanish level 1. The next thing is you want to make sure that you're sticking to your sequence exactly. If it has 6 courses, you should be registering for the 6 courses. Now, some of you, I noticed that when I try to go in and put in a 6 course view, it tells me that you're over your credits. I will be unable to override that. So you would have to email Ms. Martinez at cmartinez@ub.edu.bz or records@ub.edu.bz. Be clear to explain your position. Tell them what the problem is. Tell them what you're trying to do. Give them your name and your student ID and which course you want to go in. Another issue I'm hearing is the issue with registering for classes at conflicting times. As far as I know, the university predominantly will be having asynchronous classes, and if they are, which means that you can access the course anytime and watch recordings. If they're offering it in a synchronous fashion and you're supposed to be attending a live session, they're going to have to make allowances for students to be able to miss those live sessions because a lot of the sessions are conflicting. So my thing is, I would recommend to you that you register for whatever sections that you can get into. Remember, everything will be online. That was a last-minute decision made last week that nothing will be blended. Everything will be online, no face-to-face whatsoever for this semester. So register for whatever you can. And remember that next week you'll have 2 weeks up until August 31st to do drop add and to get help in switching from one section to the other, right? Then also be advised that you should be completing your Moodle orientation, and I would recommend getting in there while it's up. We don't know when it's going to crash again. It consistently drops. So go in there and complete it. Make sure that there's little check boxes. They must be checked, each one, before you get to the next section. So you must complete Moodle orientation. Then you have to have Moodle for students and e-learners for students. Those are 3 things that you need to complete to get access to your courses. Once you access once you're registered for a course, 24 hours later, you should be able to see it on Moodle, right? Hopefully these tips are helpful. Again, I have, right now it's 70 some odd emails, and I'm trying to go in and verify if students are registered or not. But in most cases, the issue is I cannot make changes that I'm not allowed to make. So if you're having issues, records@ub.edu.bz and also cmartinez@ub.edu.bz when something needs to be overridden. Some of you are also asking me about overloads. Typically, the overload process would be that you get the overload form, you fill it out, you send it to me, I sign it, then I would send it to the chair, or I would give it back to you, you would bring it to the chair, and then the chair would sign it. The chair is authorized to sign this in both spots. So in the interest of time, I would email Ms. Martinez or your chair of your individual faculty if you have their contact, and you would request the overload form with the information provided. Remember, in order to do an overload, you have to have a valid reason, and you have to have a 3.0 GPA currently on your transcript. Hopefully this is helpful. Again, I'm overloaded with emails right now. I'm working towards getting them completed, so please be patient. We have until Friday. Once you register for one course, then you can always add and drop next week without any penalty. But remember that 25% of your tuition is supposed to be paid by this Friday. So if you're supposed to take 6 classes, you would have to calculate how much that would be, because you have to pay the 25% of the 6 classes now. So even if you register for 4 this week, you would have to pay for the 25% of 6 by Friday. Otherwise, in the past, what the university does is they hit you with a late fee come Saturday. Basically, you get charged with a $50 late fee, right? So again, I'm not espousing that that's a fair system, but I'm just telling you the realities of it. So it's better that if you can pay a little bit more than what you have right now, it's always good to be ahead. Then the next 25% is due at the end of September, then October, then November.